Hello everyone, I'm Neil and today I'm going to tell you the story of Jose Rizal's exile, trial, and death. It is a story of courage, sacrifice, and love for our country. On July 3, 1892, after spending several years in Europe studying and writing books like No Limit Tangere and El Filibusterismo, Rizal returned home to Manila. He wanted to peacefully push for reforms and better treatment for Filipinos under Spanish rule. He believed that through education and unity, Filipinos could earn equal rights. Just 3 days after forming the Liga Pilipina, a group that promoted peaceful reforms, Rizal was arrested by Spanish authorities. They feared he was inspiring Filipinos to rebel. They saw his writings as dangerous because they exposed the bad treatment of Filipinos by the Spanish. The next day, Governor General Eulogio Despujol immediately ordered Rizal to be deported far from Manila. They chose Dapitan, a small, quiet town in Mindanao. Deportation was meant to silence him and keep him away from others who might support his ideas. On July 17, 1892, he arrived in Dapitan under heavy guard. At first, he was under strict surveillance. However, he slowly earned the trust of local officials and their townspeople by helping improve their lives. He spent his exile productively rather than wasting time. From 1892 to 1896, during his exile in Dapitan, he shone his love for his country through service. He taught boys in small school, treated the sick for free, planned and helped build a water supply system, studied nature and used lottery wins to build a simple, self-sustained life. Then, on August 1, he volunteered to serve as a doctor in Cuba, where there was a dangerous yellow fever outbreak. He was allowed to travel because the Spanish thought sending him away would keep him from causing further trouble in the Philippines. But fate had other plans. Just days later, on his way to Cuba aboard the ship España, he was arrested while the ship was in Manila Bay. Unknown to Rizal, while he was traveling, the Spanish authorities has discovered the Katipunan, a revolutionary group preparing to fight for independence. Even though Rizal was not part of the group, they blamed him for inspiring Filipinos to rebel. Rizal was taken to Port Santiago on October 6. He was kept in a dark, humid cell while Spanish authorities prepared charges against him. He remained calm and wrote poems, letters, and reflection even while imprisoned. On November 3, he was formally imprisoned by the Spanish authorities who initiated legal proceedings against him. He was accused of 3 major crimes. The first was rebellion, and the Spanish authorities believed that Rizal has inspired Filipinos to rise up against colonial rule. The second charge was sedition, accusing him of encouraging people to defy the Spanish government. Lastly, he was charged with illegal association for his involvement in forming La Liga Pilipina. On December 11, he was faced questioning from the military court. He defended himself with dignity and honesty, explaining that he never supported violence. He said he only asked for reforms through peaceful means. Despite this, the court had already decided his fate. From December 13 to 25, during these lonely days in Port Santiago, Rizal wrote touching letters to his family and friends. He refused to lose hope. He continued to read the Bible and other books, preparing his mind and heart for whatever might happen. On December 26, the court-martial was quick and unfair. Rizal's fate was already decided. Despite presenting good arguments and explanation, the court declared him guilty. He was sentenced to death by firing squad. On December 28, Governor General Camilo D. Polhebia reviewed the decision and official approved Rizal's execution orders were sent out prepare for his death. On December 29, he spent his last full day alive preparing for his death. He wrote farewell letters to his family and friends. He also composed his famous final poem, Mi Ultimo Adios or My Last Farewell, which he carefully hid inside an oil lamp to keep it safe from Spanish guards. He spent time confessing to a priest and praying, preparing himself spiritual. He asked forgiveness from anyone he may wrong and offered by his forgiveness to his enemies. At one day, he also shared an emotional final meeting with his family. Then came December 30, 1896. At dawn, he was led from Port Santiago to Bagumbayan Field, now known as Luneta Park. Wearing a black suit, he walked calmly with dignity toward his execution site. At exactly 7 a.m., Rizal faced the firing squad. As planned, he turned his body as well so what would die facing the rising sun, symbolizing hope and new beginning for his country. Final words were reported to be consummatum, which means it is finished. After his execution, Jose Rizal's body was secretly buried in Paco Cemetery. His grave was marked only with a simple number, 166, without his name. Later on, his remains were transferred beneath the Rizal Monument at Luneta, where he is honored today. Rizal's death awaked a strongest sense of nationalism amongst Filipinos, inspiring them to continue the fight for freedom. His peaceful resistance, his brilliant mind, and his willingness to die for our country continue to inspire us even today. Thank you for listening.